Donald Trump, come here, dog. Come here, big dog. Can you please stop hiring people that you got to fire?
Hearing was the main frustration of President Trump's when it came to Pam Bondi, obviously making it very clear that the relationship was still intact, but he no longer wanted her to run the place.
There were these big promises, Tiffany, maybe this is something you watch more closely, big promises of information, and then it always seemed like it was a thud. A dud.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
I believe that Pam Bondi has been less than truthful with the American people and with Congress on the Epstein files. I want to know where the files are that were on her desk because they are not in the hands of Congress.
Shout out to Verdict, best bourbon in the game. Give it a try. Don't believe me, look at the reviews. We're already in multiple restaurants. We're getting ready to get in the grocery store, one of the biggest, most prominent grocery stores in Arizona. Everything is going really, really great. Why? Because we took our time to make a real bourbon. Let me just say this real quick. I'm going to vent just a little bit, bruh. There's other people that just slap their name on stuff because they're a celebrity or they have whatever. Man, we took our time and we went methodically through sampling and producing the best bourbon that we could. Period. And this is why when people come to our booth and why people try the bourbon, they buy it online and they drink it. We go to the restaurants and we do a tasting. This is why people are 100% of the time, they go, oh, we got to carry this. Oh, this is the best bourbon I ever had. Why? Because we actually drink bourbon and we know what it's supposed to taste like and we got the best bourbon in the game. Hands down. Especially at the price point. There ain't no bourbon better than ours at the price point. This is one thing. Donald Trump, I love everything about Donald Trump, just about, right? I love his candor. I love how he's just candid. I love how he speaks his mind. I love his business acumen. Maybe some of the other stuff he done in business I don't like, but I like the fact that he believes in himself. All the great qualities that Donald Trump has, I like. But I just don't know why he picks the wrong people for some of this stuff. His first term, he had to fire so many people. And it was annoying to me. And I said, Trump, when you come in again, you got to take your time for the love of God and pick the right people. Now, I know in many cases it's not his fault because people are stupid. They tell you one thing, they did it, and then they turn on you. And then you don't have any control. I'm not saying this is Pam Bondi, but what I'm saying is that some of y'all making Trump look bad because you're not doing your job like you're supposed to. Let me get to the news clip, and then I'm going to give more commentary on this. Roll the Fox clip.
Kaylee, I just got off the phone with President Trump. We have a big scoop. Pam Bondi will soon leave her job as the Attorney General. She is going to get a different job within the administration. It doesn't sound like there is any bad blood between her and President Trump, but it does seem like they want her to go and do something else. And in an interim role, she will be replaced by Todd Blanche, who is currently her deputy at the Justice Department. So it doesn't sound like Blanche is being elevated long term to the Attorney General. There might be somebody else that the president wants to go in there. But President Trump soon will announce to the entire world that it is the end of Pam Bondi's time as the Attorney General. He still thinks that she is a great person and that she did a good job. And he still wants her in the fold because she will still be an important part of the administration, he tells me. But no longer as the top law enforcement officer of the United States. That, at least for a little while, is going to be.
I'm just going to give my commentary, and then we're going to get to Don Lemon. Just real quick. This is very frustrating to me because these people aren't who you think they are, and I don't know how Trump gets caught up with some of these people that should not even be in his sphere. What it does is when you're hanging around or you're endorsing people who are not sufficiently able to do their job, it makes you look bad. It makes you look like you don't know what you're doing, and all of the naysayers begin to become right. People were saying from the very beginning Pam Bondi should have never been in that position. People were saying Kristi Noem should have never been in that position. And it seems like somehow we either overlooked what people were saying or I don't know. I don't understand. And so Pam Bondi is gone. And I felt like she messed up when she did that Epstein thing. But the reason that she did that is because she's not qualified to be in that position. Kristi Noem was not qualified to be in the position she was in. And I would think that Trump and people in our government should know or understand that before we end up finding out. Because as soon as they did the binder thing, I said, y'all acting like y'all social media influencers. Y'all more viral than you are doing your job. Y'all want to do all this so crazy stuff. I don't need you to be a celebrity. I don't need you to be woke or whatever you want to do, awakened. I don't need you to do nothing but your job. There was a big fumble over the Epstein thing. None of this should have been an issue. They should have said, we don't have nothing to release, period. If you have things to release, you release everything you have to release, period. You don't get out there and do a binder scenario, do a binder gate, and then you're on the news saying one thing, and then you behind closed doors saying another, then you do something different, and then you saying something different than Donald Trump saying. What are y'all doing? I'm going to say this and I'm going to move on. What bothers me the most is I feel like, and I don't know if this is true, this is just my opinion, okay? I don't have any insight. They not calling me on the phone and telling me all this stuff. I'm just giving my observation based on my life experience. What I feel happens is that Donald Trump is the big dog, and everybody want to be a part of Donald Trump's life. Everybody want to be close to Donald Trump. People will fake who they are. Everybody on the come up trying to use Donald Trump. And I feel like some of these people know they're not worth a dime, but you got somebody that Trump trusts that introduced that person to Trump, and people are advocating for their friends and their homeboys thinking to look out for themselves and not look out for Donald Trump. That's just my opinion. And I feel like Donald Trump has been giving people an opportunity and they just blow it. And then what happens? The left, it appears that the left was right. Pam Bondi was not qualified. And I'll add this, and this is a knock against Donald Trump just a little bit, and I love you, Trump. You're my favorite president. And I'd vote for you 6 times if you can eligibly run for 6 times, or run 6 times. Is that when people mess up, you got to hold them accountable. You got to be transparent. You got to give us a real reason why Pam Bondi is not in her position anymore. I don't want to hear, oh, she's such a good person and I love her. And if she was so good and she was so, then she need to be in her position. If you remove her from her position, everybody's going to say that she got fired. And then if you kissing her butt or saying all these great things about her after you fired her, it just makes us all look bad. So like Kristi Noem with her sorry self, and I call her sorry because $200 million for a commercial is insane, that led to a shell company that was started 6 days before they got the bid that went to a company that's associated with you. That's fraud. That's fraud. And you ain't had no business doing that when our country got all this stuff we got to worry about, and you doing fraud. And you know you're doing fraud. And you know somebody concocted a LLC 6 days before you gave them the bid. You knew better than that. I like to treat these people like my kids. Some of y'all need a spanking. She knew better than, and Pam Bondi knew better than to put them binders out there. Get on TV. I got evidence of 100,000 different things. I'm going to show everything to everybody. Then I don't have nothing to show nobody. Y'all grown, man. Y'all grown. Y'all too grown to be cutting up, making Trump look bad.